Hello guys, I am Raj and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So this is the third video in the Python tutorial series, and today we will talk about operators. So operators are nothing but distinct symbols that we can use to manipulate data values and perform certain mathematical operations. So these data values that operators work upon are known as operands. So Python provides us with five types of operators. They are arithmetic, assignment, comparison, logical, and binary. We'll start off with arithmetic operators. The arithmetic operators are addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modulo, exponent, and floor division. So the first four are pretty trivial. So everyone who has completed their schooling knows about the first four operations. But I will majorly focus on the last three operators that are shown. They are modulo, exponent, and floor division. So we'll start off with modulo. So modulo operators are nothing but your remainder operators, or we can say they compute remainders for the set of values that we give them. Let's say I want to check if a number is divisible by 2 or not, or let's say 3 or not. So I give a number of 15 and use modulo operators and just execute it. It will show a value 0. So it is showing me the remainder for this operation or for this expression. So 15 is divisible by 3, so we are getting a value of 0. Let's say I give a value of 17 and we get a value of 2 because 17 is not divisible by 3, and we get a remainder if we try to divide this. We will go forward with double star operator. Double star operator is nothing but your exponent operator. So let's say we want to compute a to the power b for any two values. Let's say I want to compute 3 to the power 4. So I can use this double star operator. So we do 3 star star 4. So ideally we should get a value of 81, and that's what we get. So we can use this star star operator for computing the power for a value. So now moving forward, there is an operator known as floor division operator, also known as integer division. So let's say I want to find the division of two numbers, but I don't want the decimal part. So you can use this operator. So this will just neglect the part which is after the decimal point. So let's say I want to calculate 27 by 5, so that is roughly 5.4. So we'll just oops, so it will just give me 5 because it is just ignoring the part which is after the decimal point. Moving forward, we'll go with assignment operators. uh, for now I'll just discuss about equal to operators. The rest of the operators we will discuss in the next video, precedents and shorthands. So equal to operator is very much useful in assignment of values to some variable. So let's say a equals to 5 and b equals to a. So in this two expression, so first we are assigning a value of 5 to the left part of the expression, that is a, and then we are applying the value that is present in a to a variable b. So here you can say that the, the values are being assigned from the right operator to the left operator. There are other assignment operators as well, but we will discuss it further later on. We will move forward towards comparison operators. So Python gives us around 6 comparison operators. So these comparison operators are used to compare two objects. So when I say object, I'm generalizing it because Python gave us the option to not just stick to numbers. We can easily compare two objects such as strings as well using these operators. So we'll see a demo of it. So here double equal to means equals operator. So let's say I want to check if phi equals to phi, then it is giving me a value of 2. So just remember guys, whenever you use comparison operator, it will always return a boolean value. Boolean value is just nothing but a true or false. So it is just like condition that you are checking if this is true or not. So even you can write variables here as well. So let's say I write a equals to 5 and b equals to 6. And if I want to know that a is equals to b or not at some point of time in my code, if I execute this, I will see a false value occurring. Similarly, we have operator for not equals as well. So you can write it using this exclamation and equal to. So see, there will be no spaces in between this operator. So if I write a equals to b with the values that were previously assigned, it will give me a value of true, because phi is not equals, a is equals to 5 and b is equals to 6. We have other condition or comparison operators such as less than, greater than, less than or equal to, and greater than or equal to. These operators are mainly used in condition oriented coding, where we want to place a certain condition and we want the stuff to happen based on that condition. So let me give a short example about how to use it. So if I write 5 is less than 6, then it will give me a value of true. But if I write 5 is less than 3, then it will give me a value of false. It makes sense because 5 is not less than 3, 5 is greater than 3. But if I write 5 is greater than or equal to 5, then it will give me a value of true. And if I write 5 is greater than or equal to 3, then it will also give me a value of true, because so it will check for both conditions, equivalence as well as greater than. Similar is the case for less than and equal to. So moving on to logical operators. These operators are mainly used when we want to make decisions based on multiple conditions. So these operators treats every operand as a condition and make decision based out of those conditions. So we have three operators here. So this is logical AND, logical OR, and logical NOT. So their syntaxes are pretty easy to remember. They simple in lowercase letters, AND, OR, and NOT. So logical AND treats value operands as both operands should be true. Let's say I give 5 equals to 5 and 3 equals to 3. So it will give me a value of true because both these conditions are true. And then we have OR. So OR is like either of the values should be true. If both values are true, then it's also fine. But if either of the values is true, then it will give me a value of true. And then moving on to NOT operator. So it will just check for the reverse condition. It will check for if the value is false or not, or if the value is true or not. So if I write NOT phi equals to 5, then it will give me a value of false, because 5 equals to 5 is true and then we are negating it, so it will give me a value of false. If I write phi equals to double equals to 6, then it will give me a value of true, because it is a false value and then we are operating a negation operation on it, so it will give me a value of true. So next up we have bitwise operators. So these are also commonly known as binary operators. So we have 6 bitwise operators: AND, OR, XOR, ones complement, left shift, and right shift. So these are the symbols that we don't need to memorize it. You can easily Google it on whenever you require. So let me show you the basic operations on it. So if you know discrete mathematics, then it is very simple for you to just get this stuff right into your head. But let me explain it once. So it will take so these operators take input sequences as binary sequences. These are zeros and ones. So it will perform operations on each of these binary operands taken one at a time from each of the operands. So let us start with binary AND. So for binary AND, both values should be 1, so it will result in 1, else it will result in 0. So in this case, we can see this 0 and 1, only one value is 1, so we will return 0. But in this case, where both values are 1, so we will get a value of 1. So in bitwise operator, it is the reverse. Either of the case should be a positive value or a 1 value. So you can see this for in the leftmost bit, uh, only one value is 1, but the result we are getting is 1. But if both values are 0, then we will get a value of 0. The XOR is somewhat different than the AND and OR. So it says that if both values are same, then we will get a value of 0. So either 0 0 or 1 1, we will get a value of 0. But if any of the value is 1, then we will get a value of 1. One's complement is nothing, just a negation in terms of binary. So we'll get, so we have a sequence of 00 11 11 00. So we simply negate it or we just flip it, we'll get 1100 00 11. So in integer sense, it becomes a negative value or a ones complement value of the value 60, which is minus 61. Moving on to binary left shift. So we are just shifting the values by 2 bits. So we'll append 2 new bits uh, from the right side, and we will just remove 2 bits from the left side. So there is also concept known as rotation or circular shift that we'll see in some later video whenever required. So for now, we will just append 2 zeros or whatever the number of bits that you want to append from the left side. It's known as left shift, and the totally opposite is the right shift. So we will append from the left side and we'll remove from the right side. So that's it for this video, guys. Thank you for watching, and keep liking and commenting on it. If you like the content, share it among your friends, and we'll meet next time. Thank you.